Hello to my friends far and wide. Today I wanted to do a paint and chat because I started painting this canvas, a little bit of history about this canvas if you're interested. It used to be a New York City painting, which you can kind of see like the buildings here. And then me and Evan, my partner, we started like drawing over it like pears and shit, which is like this here. But I don't really like it. And now finally I'm gonna reclaim this canvas and I'm basically drawing like a girl on the floor inspired by the girl exhibition in Antwerp. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to do like a paint and chat because I'm getting back into painting. I have my coffee. It is 11. Let's get into it. I have like 30 minutes because I have to do some other shit later. But yeah, right now I'm no Bob Ross, guys. Like, I'm not gonna like do this and it's gonna be like shockingly amazing, you know? Like, this is really the beginning and it's a learning process. But um yeah, right now I'm kind of trying to like lay down the background just to kind of allow myself to forget the New York City skyline behind, because I just like, it's not inspiring me at all. Like, I just want to forget it and like give this canvas a new day, you know? And I'm probably not using the best color because I'm just using white. And so that's why I was like kind of wondering if any painting friends had any ideas for like another background color that I can use, because I was inspired by the Shupova part of the girl exhibit where she basically had like a fake room, and inside of the fake room the wallpaper was actually like spray painted lace, if that makes sense. So I was thinking of doing that for this, and I don't know, I'm feeling really attracted to the color yellow right now, but I don't have to do yellow, you know? Like, I'm down to do whatever. My problem right now is that these paints are so sheer. Like, look at it. Wait, that was such a bad example. Yeah, they're just sheer, so it's just like, I don't know. I've been doing a lot of digital painting recently, and I feel like with digital painting, it's so easy to just like, if I want something to be a certain color, I just paint bucket, you know? Like, it's so easy to just like copy paste something, but here it's like, you have to more work with the colors, you have to more build with it, and I'm not like, I don't know, like, I'm not used to being patient. So that's another part of this exercise for me, is like going back to being patient with my art, because I feel like recently through Emoticon Angel, all my edits and everything, like, it has just been so fast to do. You know, like, if I want to edit something, I can edit it in like 3 hours. And like, that can be good, especially when collaborating with people. Like, definitely a theme that I've noticed as I've started collaborating with more people is just how unreliable some people are. Like, you will get a 1 to 2 week delay just because a bitch doesn't want to upload a file to YouTube, or not to YouTube, but onto Google Drive to share it. You know, like, that has been a huge problem for me. But at the same time, like, you know, some things do take time, you know, like, and I kind of want to get back into that, at least for myself, like, kind of train myself to accept the fact that something can take more time. So that's kind of part of this painting exercise, is like, I love how I'm saying exercise, like, bitch, you're just painting, but, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, I'm trying to use my artistic skills in a different way, like, because I really, very well could be just doing like a fake little photo shoot right now, you know what I mean? Like, that is very much in my repertoire. I've been loving that form of art, like, digital collaging has been really fun for me recently. But it's time to shake it up a bit. I used to do painting a lot when I was like, kind of like 17, 18. and I just did like a lot of realism. Let me show y'all a bit. And I fuck with realism. I do feel like it's important to know, like that's something. Oh, I've actually gotten in problems with people over this, but I do think like as an artist, it is important to have a base of realism. Because you need to know like what the subject is, you know, like I mean like of course there's other disciplines like abstract and like surrealist. Even surrealism, like Dali knew how to draw a girl, you know what I mean? Like I think it's important I remember this one movie, it's a Wes Anderson movie, The French Dispatch. It talks about how like in one of the subplots there's an artist and he's in prison and he doesn't choose to draw like crazy like images. He doesn't choose to draw like photorealism. He chooses to draw crazy images. I forgot exactly what, but it's like very abstract. And the people are like, if you want to test a true artist, ask them to draw a bird. They will be able to draw a bird. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like a basis. But yeah, this is like what I used to do with me. I did this 2021. This is my friend Enov. It was like kind of impressionism. This one's kind of wonky, but I did a lot of like self-portraits. I'm definitely like a self-portrait type of girl. Yeah, I think this one is like more creative. I always painted with acrylic. So yeah, this is kind of maybe a bit nostalgic, but also feels like maybe like a renaissance because I'm not really going for the same thing. Let me show you all the inspo. Oh, okay. So the inspo for this is again the girl exhibit. So I really like this this one. This is by, oh my god, I hope I didn't lose the name. I don't know, but this is by an artist and she talks, I think Jules Van Schellen maybe. It talks about how like he was called a naive artist and how like that's not necessarily a bad thing. So we have that. I'm also inspired by this one. And I'm inspired by this one more than anything. This one I'm inspired for the shape. See? This one I'm inspired for like the cleanness of the lines, even though this is like not the full image. And this one I'm inspired for like the vibe and the wallpaper and everything. Like I just kind of want to channel that energy of like a girl sitting. Guys, the girl exhibit was so good. Like, let me actually get into that because it was so beautiful. It started off with like kind of like talking about like Victorian girls, like you know, like the beginning of that word as a term. So this is like, you know, like the fact that before like we had this freedom of clothing and everything, like boys they were changed into trousers really early on, but girls they stayed in dresses basically until they were like, you know, 13, 14, and then they moved on to like gowns, you know. It just really shows how like not women, but girls are like forced into this role of innocence, you know. And then it included Virgin Suicides, which is such a good ass movie. And if you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. And Virgin Suicides is an interesting point for me because I do think that it has a bit of a male gaze in it, but at the same time, like I don't know, like it was made by Sofia Coppola, you know, so it's like it does have a female gaze. It just feels like there's this one quote from it that is like, we learned that girls were actually women inside, but it's like it kind of, I don't know, it feels like it kind of, I think it maybe romanticizes girlhood a bit. And so that was maybe one critique I had of Virgin Suicides. But either way, it was like the room of Virgin Suicides, and it played like some clips. The clip the part of the movie where they're like calling the part of the movie where they're calling the girls and they're like, you know, showing them music. I played that part, and it was really nice to listen to all of that music. And then also it played like, it had like the girls' outfits and everything, and kind of talked about like the outfit choices for that movie, because it was in a fashion museum. So like, for example, it was talking about how like the main girl, Kirsten Dunst, is like trying to move away, or you know, trying to purposely be sexy, and how that was actually Kirsten Dunst's first time actually trying that. And I love Kirsten Dunst and Sofia Coppola. Like, I do love Marie Antoinette as a movie. But yeah, that was like the first part, and so it kind of like introduces that, and then it was like one of the biggest themes was like bedrooms, for example, and just talking about how, you know, like a bedroom is, for me, it felt like the bedroom is kind of like, it's really like the sacred place for a lot of girls. But like, for example, for Jenny Fax, who is this artist, I think from Hong Kong, she has like Hong Kong descendancy or something. Actually, like, her mom, she had to share a guest room. Like, her room was never her room, you know, so like she didn't really have like the whole Shapovalowena experience. That was like a different bedroom of like posters and everything. Her room had to be like, you know, sort of put together. Like how that affects, you know, your girlhood is, you know, limited expression in your room. Because for me at least, like, as a girl, my room was like sacred. Like, my room, like, ooh, guys, I was obsessed with my room. Like, I'm still obsessed with my room, guys. Like, I will one day. I think I even have like a couple of room tours already on my YouTube channel, just because of how like important of the space that was for me. Like, I remember the first thing I made, like the first kind of like thing that stands out to me was like something that I purposely had in my room was like this crazy altar for Amy Winehouse. Guys, I was 13 making an altar for Amy Winehouse without even realizing I had like her images up. I was like, I love you, queen. Like, I love her so bad. But yeah, like I had that, and like I would always like draw in my rooms and like paint on the walls. Like I tried to make like a family altar once. Like, I was always drawn to like this altar in my room. Like, it was kind of like my heart, you know. And I still practice that. Like, I still have like and now it's more sophisticated, I guess, but I still have like an altar. Now it's in my studio. But yeah, like the bedroom of a girl being such a secret space, but also how like not necessarily every girl has that, you know. Like, Jenny Fax didn't really have that. And it talked like, you know, about like the beginning of like the hormones, which is like, you know, you start to think about boys, you know, like One Direction or like Justin Bieber, everything. It's just so funny. I remember I had like this big poster of Justin Bieber, and I was like, I can't like him. Like, I don't know. Like, it felt so wrong to like him, you know? So with my best friend at the time, we go and we like deface the fuck out of this poor Justin Bieber poster, and we write like, I'm ugly, like, and like cross out his eyes and shit. Guys, I had a huge crush on Justin Bieber. Like, why was I doing that, you know? Like, it's like a moment that's like repression, you know. But yeah, just like the beginning of boyhood, or like the beginning of like attraction, you know. And that doesn't necessarily have to be heteronormative, but you know, like the beginning of understanding, like, oh, like I like this band, or I like this, I like that, like beginning of self-discovery and everything. There was this Ashley Williams, like the Ashley Williams plastic dress with all of the little things on it, which let me show y'all, because that's like an iconic piece of work. This I love. So they were talking about how this Ashley Williams, it says, yo, I cannot read that. Hold on. Did I take a picture of it? Probably not. Yeah, I just talked about how like this outfit was like kind of like a teenage girl's room, like, you know, messy and everything, and then like it's like all in a dress, like it's kind of stapled onto there. So that's super cool. Then there was like her hair clips. I think Ashley Williams is like, she's been one of my favorite artists for a really long time. We have, this was super cool. There was big themes of like things sort of like glued in time, like kind of like concretized in time, which I think is maybe like, you know, a tool for understanding nostalgia. Like there's this, then there's this one, and this is by Iris Hassler. She just kind of does like wax, clothes inside of wax. Yeah. What else did I want to show you? Yeah, there was a lot of this like kind of like solid moment. I think there's probably a word in Latin for it, but it's like when you take a moment and you kind of glue it, you know, like you kind of, and that's, I think that's how memories work a lot of the time. And I think when we finally understand girlhood, it's kind of in more of a retrospective atmosphere. It's not really something that you super understand while you're like in the thick of it, you know. I think that could have to do with it. And let me show y'all the Chapova Loena room. Guys, Chapova Loena is one of my favorites. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm looking it up, guys. I just imagine y'all listening to me. I hope like when I like zone out and I'm like trying to find something, y'all like zone out too. But so you see how there's like the spray paint in the back, like the wallpaper was made out of like spray painted lace. If that makes sense. This is more like my room as a kid growing up, like kind of like clutter, you know, like a myriad of different things that I was interested in. This is the Jenny Fax room, the one that she was a guest room. And this video was so funny. This video was so funny. It was a girl being like, "I am a victim of doom scrolling. Oh no, I am an angel of doom scrolling." It's so funny. You'll have to see it. It's on Jenny Fax's website. I think I definitely like the Jenny Fax and Chapeva Loena rooms more than the Virgin Suicide rooms because it did feel like more real. Like I think compared to Virgin Suicides to me is sort of like, I think it sort of infantilizes the girls. I mean, it makes sense, you know, because the girls are like constrained by their parents. Yo, fuck them parents, high key, but like, yeah, but anyways, and then finally, like, the exhibition finished off with these videos of these girls talking about, like, real life girls from Belgium talking about like their girlhood, you know, and there was like women of all ages, girls of all ages, we could say, just talking about how like what they like to do. Like one of them was like, I like to dance, you know, talking about like RBF, for example, which is something that I think a lot of women are victims of, is like being misunderstood in that way, like being seen by someone in a negative light despite being not even a like negative being, you know, like it's so hard to be a girl, like you will just be looked at and thought of in a certain way because of your gender. Like that's just like basic, you know, basic misogyny 101, bro. Yeah, there was also this artist that I really liked who is I think it's Norway and Nigerian, and she made some really cool art. Frida Orubabo. I don't know if she's exactly what she did, but she made this. Really inspiring. And this is she says a woman going through the process, a girl going through the process of identity change. So it's like her thinking about it and everything. God, I'm so inspired. Like I'm so inspired. That's why I had to like, first of all, I had to go see this exhibition because, girl, if you told me there's an exhibition with Chapova Loena, Jenny Fax, Ashley Williams, Sophia Coppola, girl, I'm there. Like, bitch, I'm there. Like, I made my way up to Antwerp. Like, it was nobody's fucking business. Like, and I had to go see it. Like, fuck. So that was super cool. And I also saw it with my dad, which was a really interesting experience because, of course, for me, like, and I think for any girl, I mean, for most girls, I think, especially if you were, born with like Western media and everything, this is intuitive. This is intuitive. Like, I'm saying all these things. If you're a girl, you get it. You get it. Like, it just makes sense. But like, for my dad, he was like, damn, like, this is how you think, like, this is like, he said it was revelatory for him because it was like, he had never thought about, really what it was like for his daughter, like what that experience is like as a child, you know. And yeah, like me personally going through the exhibition, I definitely came to the conclusion that like, okay, wait, damn, like I'm actually not even a girl anymore, like on a lot of bases. Like, for example, for the bedroom concept, I no longer am confined to my bedroom. I have now in my big ass grown age, which I'm only 23. In my age, like I have a living room I decorate. I have a kitchen I decorate. I have a studio. Like I used to have like a studio bedroom, but like, I have a kitchen. You know what I mean? I have a kitchen, a bathroom. Like it's like more grown spaces. I have more responsibility as a woman. And that reflects like my interior design decisions. Like I'm no longer just having my bedroom, which is already a privilege in itself. Like for example, there's probably in a bedroom you're sharing that with a sister. I never had to share anything with my sister. I don't have a sister. I only have brothers, so I always have my own room. Luckily, like I'm really really lucky to have that. But like, there's also that aspect. And yeah, like also like I was looking at all the outfits and I'm kind of like, I wouldn't wear that anymore. Like I wouldn't wear like a big girly collar, where like I have more agency now. Like if I don't want to do something, I won't do it. I'm no longer forced to be a quiet girl. I'm no longer forced to be subservient, which I think is really like unfortunately, a basic part of being a girl is like having to do what other people say because you don't really have much power. It's something that I've like really enjoyed, especially like after leaving high school and everything, just being able to be like, I actually don't want to do this, and so I leave. Like I'm like, guys, I'm the first person to leave if I think something is weird. I'm the first person to be like, I'm out this bitch. Like, trust me, I'm a master dipper. Like that's what my boyfriend calls me. I'm a dipper. Like if I feel like I don't fuck with this vibe, if I feel like I don't really want to be here, I'm out of there. I'm really out of there because like I know now that I have the agency to leave, and I think that is like something that you don't really have as a girl. As a girl, you're kind of, like I said, you're subservient. You have to be there, whether it's because you are playing a role for someone else, or whether it's because you're just forced to be there. Like that's literally point blank it. That was another thing, is like coming to terms with the fact that I'm not actually living girlhood anymore. There are some people that argue, like in the exhibition, that girlhood is something that will always be in you. Don't know if I agree. I mean, maybe it's like in the same way that like the frozen images and the frozen objects were, like the wax and everything. Maybe it's that, like it's kind of like something that you have as a nostalgia. But I don't think you need to be a girl forever. I don't think everyone is a girl. Like yeah, there's really a lot of critiques that can be made about that whole exhibition. Like for one, it is like very like I don't know. I didn't feel like it talked too much about like queerness for one. So that's really something that I have with like everything, because I feel like in order to have that intersectional lens, you need to like kind of have artists that are of those identities, and this was very like white womany. Well, I mean, there was like some artists that were BIPOC, but like it's just a limitation. Like I feel like it's just important to talk about limitations, um, but yeah, I think it's cool. Like you know, either way, as girls, like we grow up. Like whether it's you're sexualized at a young age or you're forced to take this mature role at a young age, like which I really do think is something that is mostly for white women. It's still like it's kind of an umbrella, that we all have to deal with. But I do think that white women, like just like people, they're just allowed, they're allotted more innocence. Like for example, for me, like when I started going to high school, um, I started being immediately viewed as an other, like kind of like demonized in a way, not like sexually, but I was kind of like people bullied me for being Hispanic. Like that's a like a real trauma of mine, was like being treated differently because of that, and like how that kind of pushed me out of an innocence, because when I started realizing, oh my god, like other people are gonna hate me for no reason, um it like builds a anger inside of you. And I think that's an experience that maybe some girls have, some don't. um but like either way, I do think like some girls like get sexualized at a young age. Like at my school, for example, there was like this list, right? And I got like demonized in a way, because I got like the ugliest girl, whatever. Like that's one example. But like my other friends, like they would get sexualized, and they would be like, oh, this is like the sluttiest girl. So it's like kind of, it's like I think through that maturity and through like going through society, you kind of are forced out of that innocence, and the opportunity for to get that back is hard. Like I think that's why people love nostalgia, is because it's that period is so fleeting. It feels like it's art. Art already is over before it even starts. It's very quick. Guys, look how I changed the color. I changed to this paint, and now it's like way thicker. I'm pissed, kind of. But yeah, like I also don't think that this exhibition necessarily needed that in order to be successful. I don't think it needed that. I also think like culturally, I think the zeitgeist is kind of moving away from this idea of girl. Like we had girl math, girl toilet, girl dinner, girl blah blah blah, and I think people are kind of like getting over that for sure. So I think maybe this is like the final whisper of girl, and like the final understanding, because at the end of the day, like with social media and everything, like I think the girl is actually kind of dying, because a lot of girls now, they're not going through this awkward phase anymore. They're like you see all the girls now, and they're dressing like adults, because they have access to adult aesthetics, and like I'm not saying like necessarily like sexually, but like like a lot of girls, for example, here in France, they dress exactly the same as the way that a lot of like teenage girls dress exactly the way as college girls dress, which is like really sophisticated scarves and really sophisticated, striped shirts and everything. And like they're not going through that awkward One Direction phase anymore. They're not really, like awkward anymore, because like the internet is so clear on like the internet is such a clear indicator of what is awkward and what is not, and so people understand it now. There's kind of more of a self-awareness about like innocence and everything, and a lot of people demonize it, and a lot of people push it away. So I think as a concept, girl is sort of leaving. I think it became kind of like the adulting of Gen Z. Like, oh, I'm like a girl, I'm adulting, hashtag adulting, kind of like this denial of actually like transitioning onto adulthood and accepting it, because it is hard to come through that coming of age. But at the end of the day, like, people are accepting it, I think, and it's now even becoming cringy to say, like, girl, you know, like, oh, I'm doing girl this, girl that, girl math, girl dinner, girl la la la. It kind of pushes us back, by not allowing us to, like, actually talk about the situations that happen when you enter adulthood, you know, because we're so stuck in that, like, desire to be something that we once were, that nostalgia. And I think nostalgia is something that is slowly but surely is sort of out now. Okay, guys, well, it's been 30 minutes. I need to finish painting this because I have to do some work for my classes, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my little reflection about girls, the exhibition in Antwerp, and then if you have any advice for this drawing, let me know. Yeah, getting started with it, you know, I'm pushing it along. So yeah, if you like this video, leave a like. If you have something to say or add about any experience, let me know. I'm always willing to hear what people have to say. Even if I don't respond, I will probably just, like, say, like, thank you or something, because, like, sometimes I think I don't need to respond. Like, sometimes I think you can just say what you want to say and I will read it, and I think that helps, because sometimes you're right and I don't need to argue. Sometimes I'm wrong and you need to argue. There's that challenge. Okay, y'all. All right, have a good day. Bye bye.